Hello friends, welcome to the joy of conceptual learning. Friends, today we are going to learn the equation of motion in a straight line. So there are basically three equations of motion which is given for the linear motion. So what are those equations? Which is v is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at square, and v square is equal to u square plus 2as. So today we are going to drive these three straight line equation of motion through the graph, and later I will give you some tips for the application of the equation of motion. So without delaying further, let us start. First, we have to draw the graph. Now, suppose you a particle is moving from a one point to another point, and initially the particle velocity is u, and later after a time t particle velocity becomes v. Now during this time the particle acquire the acceleration a, and in the same duration particle, say suppose travel the distance s. But here if the distance is in the straight line and if it is not particle is turning back, then the distance and displacement will be same. But if the particle is moving from one point to another point and again going backward, then the concept displacement will come into the picture. So in s is equal to ut plus half at square, the concept displacement is there in the equation of motion, and even in the v square is equal to u square plus 2as. So let us drive it. You draw the vertical line like this and draw the horizontal line like this towards x-axis, and this is toward y-axis, and label it with y-axis as a velocity and x-axis will be a time function. So x-axis will be having a time function. So now suppose a particle starts its movement from this point and it reaches to this point. Okay, now at this point, say suppose particle started moving with the initial velocity u. So let us give the name initial velocity u. Now after time t, particle acquired the velocity v, and this v is nothing but it's the final velocity. Now during this time the particle acquired the acceleration a. So this is the acceleration of the particle. Now we have to drive with this set of information. What you should do, you drop a perpendicular from this point to x-axis, that is the time axis, and from this point you again draw one perpendicular. Okay, so this is what the scenario will come. Now here this angle we have to label it as a theta. So let us label this angle as theta. Now let us suppose a particle, or you can say object, is initially at this point. Say suppose this is at P point and particle started moving, and after moving it has reached to, say, suppose this point, which is Q, and during this time from coming from P to Q, it has taken time t, and it traversed a displacement s and acquired the acceleration a. So now let us try. As you can see from the graph, that acceleration is equal to slope of the line. So which is the line? So this is the slope of the line. We are talking about this line slope. As per the fundamental definition of the acceleration, acceleration is the rate of change of velocity. So if we apply the trigonometrical function here in this triangle, so how it will work? So let us apply this triangle. We will first name this. Now let us name this as A, B, C, and this one is D, and this is E. So this is the triangle CDE. So slope as per the trigonometrical function is tan theta. Now tan theta from this triangle, that is we are talking about C, D and E. C, D, E. So tan theta as per the trigonometrical function, it is defined as perpendicular and divided by base. So perpendicular is DC and base is EC. So we write perpendicular by base. So if we define perpendicular, this will come like DC by EC. Now what will be the value of DC? If you see the value of DC, this is the initial velocity of the particle u. So the value of AE will be u. So if the AE will be u, then CB will be also u, because this is a rectangle and opposite side of the rectangles are equal. So this is u, then this is also u. So this part will be u and this whole part will be v, because the final velocity is v. So this y-axis velocity, because velocity is represented through the y-axis, so this is the y-axis full velocity point. So we will define that velocity u and v in this way, like, so here you can see this portion will come as u, and from this to this it will come as a v. Now what will be the value of this DC? Simply v minus u, this will give DC value. So we will apply DC is equal to, this portion is v minus u. So from this equation we will put DC is equal to v minus u, and EC is nothing but t time, because it is a time axis. So we suppose this is total time t. Now what will happen as per the fundamental definition of the acceleration? Acceleration is the change in velocity by time. So this is nothing, that is acceleration. Now this the same equation is also equal to tan theta. If you see like this, so that is the reason we say the acceleration is nothing but it is a slope in velocity time graph. So again, I'm repeating, acceleration is nothing but it is the slope of the velocity time graph. So if you know the tan theta, then you can directly say suppose tan theta is 60 degree. So 60 degree is nothing but it is a root 3. So acceleration will be root 3 or 1.71. So this is how the acceleration can be defined in terms of slope. Now further simplifying this equation, let us move forward. A is equal to, this implies A is equal to V minus U by T, then again implies V minus U is equal to AT, which again implies V is equal to, I am bringing this U to this side, right side, that means V is equal to U plus AT. So this is the first equation of motion. So this is how the first equation of motion is derived. So don't forget this equation of motion, it is very important while you solve the numericals. So first equation of motion. Now let us move towards the another equation of motion, which is the second equation of motion, and it can be derived from the same graph. Now let us see how it will be done. Now in any velocity time graph, this is how the position of the particle changes with respect to time, which also means that velocity, it will go like this, from particle acquired the velocity, initial velocity u, and it is moving till the point d and it acquires the velocity v. So as per the basic definition of the displacement, how it can be defined, displacement is nothing, s is equal to velocity average into time. So if we multiply velocity by into time, then we can get the displacement. So that means it is in this velocity time graph, if we know the area, this is just like length into width. So if we know the area of this, then we can calculate the displacement of any particle in velocity time graph. So if the area of this and the area of this is calculated, then we can calculate the displacement. Now let us see the area of triangle first. So number one, area of triangle. Area of triangle, which is DCE, is equal to, as per the basic definition of the geometry, half into base is EC. EC is nothing but it's a time t into height. Height we have already, what is that height? DC. So DC we have already find out, V minus U. So we will write half base into height. Okay. Now another portion we have to derive, that the rectangle, area of rectangle. What is the area of rectangle? This is nothing but it is a length into width. So length into width means, so we will write like this, u, width is u and length is t, so ut. Now let us move forward. So further solving it, so total area is also known as displacement, because in any velocity time graph, total area is represented through the displacement. So S is equal to area of rectangle we will sum now. Area of rectangle UT and plus half T into V minus U. But what we had derived earlier, but with the first equation of motion, what is that? The first equation of motion says V is equal to U plus AT. Now if we solve further, what it will work like this. I will bring U in this side. V minus U is equal to AT. Now this value V minus U I will put here. So what is the V minus U value? 80. So I am going to insert V minus U is equal to 80 through this equation. So I put V minus U is equal to 80. So let us see, further simplify this equation. So UT plus half T into V minus U is nothing but it is a 80. So further simplifying this equation, so UT plus half A T square. So this is the second equation of motion where displacement is in terms of initial velocity, time and acceleration is given like this. S is equal to UT plus half AT square. This is the second equation of motion. V is equal to U plus AT is the first equation of motion. Now let us derive the third equation of motion. So third equation of motion, what is that? It is V square is equal to U square plus 3AS. And these three are the most fundamental equation which we required in any straight line motion for resolving the problems. So let us go through that. V square is equal to U square plus 2S derivation. So how we will work for V square is equal to U square plus 2S? As we earlier know that displacement is equal to average velocity into time. So let us going through the same equation. Again displacement S is equal to average velocity is nothing but it is a function of initial velocity plus final velocity divided by 2, because any number average is divided by the total numbers, and this is the total numbers 2 and the actual numbers in the sum form. So U is the initial velocity, V is the final velocity, and there are two numbers, so hence divided by 2. So this is the U plus V into time t. Vector I have put because velocity is a vector. So just to make you understand, velocity is vector, just I have put arrow. So you need not to put arrow for the derivation. You can directly go with this into time t. Now in the V is equal to U plus AT equation, we can express the time function in terms of VU and A. So AT is equal to V minus U and T is equal to V minus U by A. So here we can arrange U plus V like V plus U. Both are same, A plus B or B plus A, if both the integers are positive or negative, that does not make any difference. Okay, this divided by 2 into time V minus U by A. Now friends, it's a very simple formula. V plus U and V minus U is the most fundamental algebraic formula. If you remember, you write in the comment section what is that fundamental formula. The fundamental formula is like this: V square minus U square can be expressed as V minus U into V plus U. This is just like A plus B whole square is equal to A minus B into A plus B. So we can write this V square minus U square by 2A. Now if we solve it further, so let us solve it further. So s is equal to, moving forward, implies v square minus u square, or this 2a I will bring this side, so into 2a. So we will further solve this. 2as is equal to v square minus u square. So this implies v square is equal to u square. I bring this side, so u square plus 2as. So this is the third equation of motion. So friends, we have learned the equation of motion, all the three basic equation of motion, that is v is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at square, and v square is equal to u square plus 2as. So now I am going to share some tips for the application of these basic equation of motion, and which will be very helpful while solving the numericals. So always remember these, some of the important concept, that in v is equal to u plus at in first equation, s is equal to ut plus half at square, which is the second equation of motion, and v square is equal to u square plus 2as, third equation of motion. In all the three equation of motion, you always remember one thing very important, that acceleration is constant. This a, and this a is constant. What does that mean? That means the particle can keep changing the velocity. Okay, like say suppose I can say like this, if I make you understand through this, particle can keep changing the velocity, say suppose 10, then it will become 20, then it will become 30, say suppose every second. Then the acceleration, what will happen in the first second acceleration, 10 minus 20 minus 10 by 1, then again 10 acceleration, 30 minus 20, then again 10 acceleration, if it is happening per second. So particle, whatever the increase in velocity, the increase in velocity will be such a way that acceleration will always remain constant. That means, he says suppose particle has acquired 100, then it will go like that 200. If we are taking in the 1 second, okay, it will take 300, supposing next 1 second. So this will go like this. So acceleration will always remain constant. This is the first tip, that is to understand the application of this. If the acceleration is variable, means in the first second particle acquired 10 meter, in the next second particle, say suppose here I will make you understand, suppose in the first second particle acquired 10 meter per second velocity. Now in the next second particle acquired 40 meter per second velocity. This is 1 second, this is 2 second. Now in the next second particle acquired 100 meter per second velocity. So this how, if you see that particle velocity from 0 to 10, it is saying 10 by 1 acceleration. Now from 1 to 2 second, that is another 1 second, 40 minus 10, that is 30 by 1. So see how the acceleration is changing. Here the acceleration is 10 meter per second square, here the acceleration is 30 meter per second square. Now again here if we see 100 minus 40, so it is 60 divided by 1, then again acceleration is 60. Now this concept, if the acceleration is changing in this way, you cannot apply these equation of motion. This is the most fundamental concept, that acceleration is always constant, then only you can apply the equation of motion. That means the curve between velocity and time will be a straight line, which will be either passing through the origin or it can intersect the y-axis. So always remember, in this equation of motion, the slope is constant, then only it has a meaning. Acceleration is always constant. Now the second thing is, the most fundamental important thing is, if if any of this velocity is given, you have to apply the equation based on the numericals, which means that if suppose the if suppose displacement is given, acceleration is given. Okay, now you have to find the velocity, initial velocity. If it is mentioned that particle comes to rest after time t, then what will happen? Velocity, final velocity will become 0. Initial velocity we have to find, then we can easily find because acceleration and displacement is given. But you cannot apply this equation, second equation, because here time is the function and time is not given. So whatever the function is given, based on that we judiciously apply the equation of motion. So always remember these things. This is one of the most fundamental equation of motion. And moving forward, one more concept is important that always you should remember, that the slope in velocity time curve is acceleration. And slope in distance, or say suppose displacement, better we say displacement time curve will give you velocity. So these two are the most fundamental concept. You should always remember in velocity time curve that the slope of velocity time curve will always give acceleration, and slope in distance time curve will always give you velocity. So let us just understand that how we can project the same through graph. Now it will go like this. Now I am going to show you three scenario where a particle is moving with a initial velocity u, and I am going to project this in the velocity time curve. So same thing, velocity time curve vt, this is also a v, and this is also a v, and the x-axis will be given by t. So let us label x-axis also as a time function t, and suppose the particle move from origin, means it has just started, and this is the first scenario. Then in this case the slope of this will give you acceleration. Now here the slope will be like this portion. Now if the particle start from initial velocity u here, then slope will be like this. The angle it makes with the x-axis or parallel to the line x-axis. So this is slope. Here this will also give you acceleration, and here one scenario will be like this. Here this will also give you acceleration, but acceleration will be 0. Why? Because the slope is 0. It is not making any angle with x-axis. The angle between the two parallel lines is always 0. So this is how in any velocity time curve the slope will give you acceleration. Now suppose the same concept we move forward like this. Now here, if we go, say suppose this is a displacement, this is a time. So say suppose particle is moving like this. So this is how with the passage of time, particle is moving like a parabolic function. Now what will be the velocity time curve? Velocity time curve will be like this. And what will be the acceleration? Acceleration will be like this. Now why it is so? The important thing is why it is so. If you see, if as the time passes, the displacement of the particle is increasing. If you plot this through graph, you will get exactly the straight line, because the slope of displacement time will give you velocity. Why? The reason is displacement over time is nothing but velocity, and you can see the slopes keeps on changing like this. So always tangent. So that is the reason key here in the velocity time curve, the velocity is increasing with the time. Now here what will happen in the acceleration time graph? Since the slope is constant, this slope is constant, so acceleration is constant. So this is how the concept is applied. In the velocity time curve, slope is acceleration, slope is constant. So if we plot the same motion in the acceleration time curve, acceleration is constant, acceleration is not changing. You see, it's in the same direction continuously. That means it is always constant, it is not changing with the y-axis, its position. So friends, I hope you have understood the concept of the equation of motion, and you can apply the concept for solving the problem either through the graph, or you can apply directly the equation of motion based on the numericals. So one simple numerical I am going to show you for your convenience. Let us see. Say suppose a particle is moving with an initial velocity 10 meter per second. Okay, this is the particle, position is say suppose P, and it is moving, and after time t it has come to the Q, and this is the time t, and initial velocity u, final velocity v, and suppose it traverses the distance s. So now in the numerical it is, suppose it is given initial velocity is 10 meter per second, acceleration is 1 meter per second square, and say suppose particle has taken the time t is equal to 2 seconds to reach to the final position as shown here. So what will be the final velocity of the particle? So how we can calculate? Now see, we have a three equation of motion. V is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at square, and v square is equal to u square plus 2as. Which equation we should use? Can we use third equation of motion, where v square is equal to u square plus 2as, because we need to find the final velocity? No, we can't use it. Why? Because here the displacement is not given. Acceleration is given, initial velocity given, but displacement is not given. So we cannot use this equation. So this equation is ruled out. Now, can we use this equation to find out the final velocity? No. Why? Because there is no expression of final velocity in this. So this is also ruled out. Can we use this equation? We need to find out the final velocity. Initial velocity given, acceleration given, time given. Yes, through this we can find out the final velocity. So what will final velocity? So final velocity v is equal to u is 10 plus at, a is 1 into time 2. So final velocity is 10 plus 2, 12 meter per second. So this is how it will work. So this way we can find out the required value of the final velocity. So if any of this equation, whatever the value is asked in the numerical, we use the appropriate equation of motion. So friends, I hope you have understood the concept of this. If you have any doubt, you can feel free to ask in the comment section. Till then, please take care of your health in this COVID period and have a nice life and enjoy every moment of the life. Okay, bye bye, take care.